In the tapestry of life, where every thread holds a story, America in black and white emerges as a haven for the voices echoing through the heart of our communities. In this podcast, we wade through the rivers of our collective experiences, celebrating the vibrant hues of change brought forth by the whispers of hope and the roars of action. It's more than just a conversation. It's a journey into the heart of our society, illuminated by the light of those daring to dream and do. Join us, and let your voice be the melody that guides us toward a dawn where every color finds its place in the masterpiece of our shared destiny. Together, let's paint a future brimming with the positives that dwell in our minds and the actions that shape our world.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special edition, a Sunday afternoon special here of America in Black and White, where we are coloring conversations on the canvas of America. This afternoon, our special guest is Mr. Christopher McCoy. Christopher McCoy is a rising thought leader at the intersection of health informatics, artificial intelligence, and equitable patient care. Currently pursuing his master's in health informatics at Morehouse School of Medicine, Christopher brings a rare blend of technical expertise and human-centered vision to the evolving landscape of healthcare innovation. With a background that spans biotechnology, laboratory research, clinical data systems, and project coordination, Christopher offers both analytical depth and practical insight into the challenges of modern healthcare. His work is grounded in a commitment of making technology more transparent, ethical, and impactful for patients, providers, and communities alike. As a current Emory AI Experience Fellow, Christopher is helping build interactive platforms that track and analyze AI governance standards across U.S. healthcare systems, ensuring that innovation is matched with accountability. He is also the founder of Intelligent Medicine, a content platform dedicated to exploring how artificial intelligence is reshaping clinical care, research, and health equity. Christopher's long-term ambition is to serve as Chief Information Officer, guiding organizations through digital transformation while championing data-driven, inclusive healthcare systems. His appearance on America in Black and White promises to offer fresh insights into the future of AI in medicine, the importance of ethical tech leadership, and the power of data to drive systemic changes. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Christopher McCoy.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
Hey, sir, how are you?
Good. I'm just yesterday was my birthday, so I'm enjoying being 25, and yes, that's all I got going
Wow.
on today.
Man, well, I can say I remember when I was 25.
I said, hey, I'm almost there to 50, a quarter of a century now. I say I feel like I lived a life, but not really. It just
Yes,
started.
sir. So, is there anything you'd like to add to your bio before we jump into the show?
You pretty much covered it all. I'm the founder of Intelligent Medicine. It's a blog that highlights how artificial intelligence is shaping the future of healthcare. I'm also my background is health informatics, which is basically coming up with algorithms and computer programs to help patient outcomes, better their outcomes by improving the quality of care. Is if it's training people in the healthcare space to learn how to use new technology, and list goes on. That's pretty much what I do.
Okay. Well, so let's just jump into intelligent medicine and innovation.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us what inspired the creation of intelligent medicine?
Oh, there's a big gap in trust and transparency in the medical field, and with AI, that is like a lot of people don't trust it already. So in the medical field, it's like, kind of hear it, kind of not. So what was hoping to do is create a platform to help people to show the advancements of AI and new trends and new topics that are happening in AI and medicine.
Mm. So, but so with this new innovation, I mean, so how are people to use this? How are they to take it? I mean, like, what are some of those things that they should know about that?
So some things that they should know is like how their healthcare will change, how healthcare itself will change in the upcoming years. Whether that be tracking your data by wearing an Apple Watch, and it will tell you, oh, you're likely to have a heart attack soon. You need to get to the hospital, or you need to maybe go for a walk today because your stress levels are high. And that way too, if you have wearable devices, the doctor can track real time what's going on with you as well. So in different things, whether it be wearable devices, it'd be telehealth, which is very up and coming, like in rural areas, especially where people can't get to a hospital quickly. If they combine like wearable devices and telehealth, that will help them receive better care overall, and they won't have to drive so far to receive that care. They can receive it right at home, essentially. For some things, maybe not surgery, but if
Yeah.
you like need a checkup or something, if you're wearing the devices or you have like the devices to set up a Zoom call like this,
Mhm.
you'll be completely fine with that. Other things that I have on the website is policy, ethics, like stuff like news that revolves around that, new current things, AI in clinical care, the future of AI in healthcare, and just or research that's going on in the field right now. And you can go on those, you can look up those by those categories on the blog site.
So, so as intelligent medicine is going, uh, in your own words, could you define intelligent medicine?
Yes, intelligent medicine. It's it's a focused on accessibility and community. It's like reporting the latest health tech headlines. It's to break it down to complex topics to more easier to read for people to understand, and it highlights ethical considerations, and it sparks conversations with readers or between individuals.
Okay, yeah. So so as that, because that's really really good. But there's that one term that you use that really stands out to me, and that is communities. So in communities, as you were explaining prior to, so this would so primarily people in especially underserved communities. Can you tell us how does intelligent medicine help them that much more?
So they can see the transparency on how AI can help them out, and they can educate themselves on how to not how to trust, but they can educate and be aware of the AI in healthcare, so they can build more trust within the healthcare community with like underserved people or people who don't maybe don't have enough money to receive certain type of care. Especially with the AI will help with cutting costs down. As it gets better, the cost will cut down dramatically. So there might be stuff that people don't know about. Some things is like if you get billed, if you're medical billing, you could ask AI, or there could be a program out there that you can put all your medical bill codes in, and essentially it tells you, oh, the doctor messed up on your billing. You shouldn't be billed for this. You should ask them to remove this, or essentially get rid of that. You should be billed like this, and there's something that they can bring up with their doctor, and they don't have to get overcharged for something as simple or little, or
Mhm.
feel like they're getting overcharged. Other things they can do with it is help them with healthcare research and the whole like what's going on new, because a lot of a lot of problems occur if you don't know, then you're just gonna assume things, and this platform will help you understand more what's going on with AI in healthcare.
Mm. So, what gap in clinical care were you aiming to fill?
So the gap in clinical care. It's well, really just the problem is like I would say bias in the healthcare. So if you if you're able to remove those biases,
Mhm.
it should be like it should be easier. It should build trustworthy in that community or in certain communities that won't undermine their quality of care or health or patient trust. Another thing that is holding back AI adoption in healthcare is like I said before, is trust and integration. Clinicians need to trust the tools that they're working with and the systems they need to know the systems that they're working with so they can integrate AI seamlessly into existing workflows. So that and then without that adoption is very slow to take on. And if people don't integrate, like if it's not integrated well, meaning training, if there's not good training, especially with the older generation, because you have a doctor maybe with 40 years of experience, been doing it for 40 years, and the last thing he wants to hear is how you're supposed to tell him how to write his notes or how he should input his notes. So that's a big gap there too. So just having that platform to where people can look and see, oh, maybe older doctors didn't know AI can help them write their notes or do text to speech. And it's on that platform, then they can decide if they want to integrate that into their clinical practice.
So let's kind of like bring this like down to a lower level.
Okay.
And so primarily when you say when you're talking about the trust, I'm assuming that you're talking about African Americans and medical, and their trust in the medical profession or doctors, especially those that don't look like them, because there's always this fear of something happening to them.
Yes.
And so, in that case, and with all the things that you just mentioned here, how would we actually, or how could you actually get this information out to people like in these underserved communities to help them to explain and to learn a little bit better about intelligent medicine and how it could really benefit them and show them some proof positive things that this is what it's going to do for you? How can you do that?
So one of the things on the site is a newsletter. So by signing on to the newsletter, you get weekly updates to straight to your email about what's going on in the healthcare space and AI. And you can even filter it down to what you want to like know about more about, and it'll give you a little more about that topic. If it's any of those categories I mentioned before, like transparency, AI, if it's other stuff too. Like if you want to learn about more about what's happening in the drug fields with AI, you can put that down and it will send you based off your profession too as well or your role, information and what you can do, maybe some links if there's stuff that may benefit you, like say that you want to have this newsletter because you want to learn how AI is going to help with cancer patient care. Uh, it will send you maybe some devices you can use that will use AI and help you to show your doctor in the future.
Mhm.
Um, it definitely will give you the information you need to go forward and to how to address certain your issues in life, and then
So,
it'll give you updates on what's new on the website.
So I hope those of you out there that are listening, especially, I understand the plight, especially when it comes to the African American community and healthcare, is that, what Chris is saying to you right now is that this is most likely the very best way, especially now with this new innovation, that's really going to help you to get not just get over that fear, but you also learn a lot about what's going to be best for you as far as your care going forward, which makes a whole lot of difference, which means for a lot of people, knowing is the best part of this journey.
Right.
So as long as you know, then you're able to track and keep up with your own health as well as the doctor, and you can help them in the corrective measures if necessary.
Correct. Correct. It's you're able to take control of your own data, of your patient, your own data. Is that's another thing that's struggling in the healthcare field. You could go to one doctor, let's say in one city, and then you're from the Atlanta area, correct?
I am here in Atlanta.
Yeah. So if you go to, let's say, a doctor in Atlanta and then you went to a doctor in Albany, Georgia, they're not going to have the same medical records you had in Atlanta. So getting people to have their own medical records and having it to be able to have it in their pocket and just show a doctor, or the way be able to where a doctor can pull it up from a cloud service,
Mhm.
that is huge because that will help them a lot. Because sometimes a lot of things happen or mistakes happen in the healthcare field because they didn't know you took this certain medicine and they gave you another medicine, and you're ill or you can't see or something. So that's that's why it's important to have your own, like, have take control of your own data. That's why I like this. And a lot of people don't know this as well. Like it's the hospital, they may say, oh, you have to pay for your records every page or so, but they can give you, if you give them a flash drive or something, they can give you the electronic records on the flash drive. But a lot of people don't know that, and they just want to charge or upcharge. This is very shady business practices sometimes.
Can you walk us through the early development stages of the platform?
So so during the summer, I had a chance to work with. I'm still working on this project with a AI governance platform.
Mhm.
So I was looking online, and I was like, what can I do like this around this that can help people learn more about AI in healthcare? Because a lot of people, when I mention it, if they're not in healthcare, it's kind of, they kind of get surprised, or like, oh no, I don't want that to happen, or it's like a big scare to them. So I thought, so I looked around, I found another website that does similar thing as me, but it wasn't as interactive or easy, I would say, for someone to understand and read. So I developed the platform Intelligent Medicine so people can, one, go to a website and not look boring and have be engaged and interact with it, and two, so people can get the correct information and not be so scared of what's going to happen in the future. So maybe if something did happen to you, God forbid, or something, that if you hear the word AI in the hospital room, you're like, oh no, let me leave. But it'll be actually a good thing for you, not a bad thing.
So, what challenges did you face in integrating AI into clinical workflows?
Challenges, I'll say big challenges is really the training, like trying to get people to understand, or you're telling people that have done it a certain way for a long time, and now it's easier, but it makes their life easier, but they don't kind of understand it because they see what they're doing is easier, and if they're trying to learn something new, it's kind of harder to them. Because essentially, when you get older, you really don't want to, you don't want to learn too, don't want to switch up your old, your ways and all that. But the
Just saying we're setting our ways.
yeah, it's set in the ways. But that's understandable though. If something works, it works. So I definitely feel that. But like I try to explain to certain people, it's like Excel. No one wanted to learn Excel for real. Like I remember my dad. He's a manager for a pest control company, and used to have these like the older employees get so mad and like frustrated that they had to learn Excel and they didn't want to do it. And most of them who didn't want to do it, they got fired because essentially what I realized a job, it goes for kind of any industry. A job doesn't really care if I mean, certain regulations, yes, and how it's supposed to be done, but they want it done as fast and efficient, and whoever can do that, that's who they want. So that's what I try to tell people is like, you could like, yes, you could draw a graph by hand and it may look nice, but I guarantee you Excel is going to be better and faster at it. And then you'll go on. And that's what essentially is going to happen with AI and healthcare. The hospitals that don't have it integrated will fall way behind than the hospitals that do, or clinics.
So, how does intelligent medicine improve patient outcomes?
So by giving the patient the education and insights, they could tell the doc, or they can know what the doctor does, or they can essentially take control of more of their data too. Is say if someone gets their EHR, that's electronic health record. If someone gets that, they can potentially put it through their own, or ask questions through their own AI that better help. Maybe the doctor missed something, like the say you had a certain disease and and the doctor told you you need to take this one drug, but after reviewing this and you feel that the drug that the doctor prescribed to you is not working, and you ask the chatbot, hey, here's the PDF of my electronic health record, uh and this, I feel like this medicine is not working. Is there any alternative medicines that I could ask my doctor to look into that I should take? And that could help them, dramatically. They could go, they can create a, say if they need to nutrition better, they can create a nutrition plan based off their EHR, or a diet based off their EHR. Uh, it'll give, it'll give a patient better control of their health once if they go on the site and learn something new. Say if it's a wearable device that they can wear, or something that's in hospitals that uses AI that can help them. Whether a lot of people feel doctors don't pay attention to them when they write notes, so by using speech to text in the room and having the AI transcribe it and highlight the notes and input it into the EHR, the doctor is able to listen to you more instead of just looking at a computer screen and not feeling like they're paying attention to you.
Mhm. So, what role does data analytics play in your platform?
So one way I can use data analytics is I can see how many people are looking at which category,
Mhm.
or like how many clicks go in each category, and I could put more articles that relate to that topic. So if people are more interested in wearable devices than bias transparency, I can focus on more articles with wearable devices. If
Mhm.
people maybe 1 month or for like 3 months straight are clicking on bias transparency, and then let's say Apple comes out with a new watch that has a good medical benefits, and it jumps to that, then you could see the trends on when different things happen and what people are looking for. So it's good to get that type of insights on what people are looking for, so you can provide them with the best information they will need.
So let me ask you this, because that's really interesting. So is it like, so when people are clicking on all these different things, right? And all of this is just happening in real time. Are you going to, as you go over phases, as you're actually growing this platform and growing, what this is supposed to be? Are you going to be coding this to where there's going to be instantaneous updates with these articles and these new things as they come out? so instantaneously as people are clicking, they'll be able to see this? Or is that one of the things that you are working with your folk behind the scenes as you're developing to go further, to maybe possibly use your platform to instantaneously do these automatic updates to those certain areas?
Yeah, that's what we're looking at in the future. So basically, in kind of not on the article side, but more on the newsletter side. If someone they want the newsletter, the more whatever topics we know they're interested in, maybe they clicked on uh bias transparency more, and they want to learn more about radiology or stuff like that. So we can send them articles or information that's tailored to radiology and AI, or information that's dedicated to that, on how uh, maybe new software or devices that's out there that can help them receive better care.
Okay. How do you ensure ethics use of AI in healthcare?
Ethics. So that's pretty. So that's a big thing right now. Is if an AI or something messes up, whose fault is it, right? Is it the
Mhm.
coder's fault? Is it the doctor's fault? Is it the person who uses it fault? Is it the the computer's fault? It could be, it can go a lot of ways. So that's what's gonna be another big field, is what some people call it as AI law. And that's gonna be really big in healthcare too, because say like the speech to text, if they have the AI software that does the speech to text in the room in the hospital, and say the AI missed a word, or didn't hear a word, or hear a certain uh allergic reaction to a drug or something like that, and it recommends the patient that drug, that would be a problem. And then whose fault would that be? Would that be the doctor's fault because he didn't speak up loud enough? Would it be the coder's fault because the system messed up? So it's involving those things, and making sure you're not. That's another ethical thing too, is people's worry about, oh, is my job going to be taken with AI, is also having that human in the loop. See, if the speech to text software did mess up and didn't have someone to look over the notes, and it just pushed it through and gave them the prescription, then there will be a lot of mistakes. But if you keep a human in the loop, like a doctor, physician, you always have to have someone checking over it. That way, it you it won't mess up, and you won't. Like a lot of those things, like doctors, they may mess up because they're burnt out. They have a lot of patients to see every day. They're tired, and having the AI do the speech to text, for example, could help them like cut their workload in half, by a lot. Maybe not half, but reduce it by a lot. They won't have to be typing on a computer, and they can just focus on patients.
Mhm.
So if you have two people, is AI is like, let's say AI is another person. If you have two people checking over it, it's hard to fail. If that makes sense.
Mhm.
So I feel as if keeping the human consideration in like the loop of things,
Mhm.
and keeping like governance policy, like the basically the federal government will have to step in and make some laws to help make sure that nothing could go wrong like that. So maybe that's updating HIPAA, putting more regulations into effect that are updated with times now with
Mhm.
AI in healthcare. Because let's say if someone puts their EHR in a chatbot, potentially someone that could pop up in someone else's chatbot, that information,
Right.
and your data is compromised. So making sure that the programs are HIPAA compliant and all those type of things is making sure everything stays right with the government standards. So I feel like good governance policy and having humans in the loop of things will be this what will help like relieve people in the ethicality of AI or in healthcare. If that makes sense.
So, what feedback have you received from medical professionals?
So my cousin, he told me that he really liked the website. It was very great. He's a radiologist out in Las Vegas. He says he uses it right now for like radiology updates, like updates that they could use, updates that he can look at that say, oh, okay, there's a new software out here that um takes an X-ray image and it can find the cancer.
Mhm.
Or there's new software that can tell you if you need surgery for your broken bones or what you need for the or recommendations. Um, my cousin is a psychiatrist. She uses it sends her information.
Mhm.
I had a couple of healthcare professionals that I work with. They're all signed in. I mean, they made an account with the intelligent medicine, and they enjoy it, and it gives them like one lady. She was old. She's way older, and she was really like nervous about AI and healthcare, and I told her about my website and she got on. I told her to test it out and she's like, "Oh, I really like it. It tells me information. I didn't know it could do this type of stuff." And like I thought it was like just gonna steal my information basically, and I would have my all my medical data would be or give me the wrong medicine. But I didn't know if you had a Apple Watch and it could track all your health and then it could send it to your doctor in real time and see and stuff like that.
So, where do you see intelligent medicine evolving in the next 5 years?
So I see it becoming an education platform where someone can go on and different software tools that's in a like that's used in healthcare. It'll be training videos on there that they can go on and watch or how to videos to how to make a EHR template with AI or how to use a certain software or app that has AI in it to better help your practice. Um, or That's mostly where we're looking at to going in the next 5 years is more education, just more interactive, maybe training videos or in classes and maybe potentially you getting a certification through us and it being it meaning something.
So, as we got the people that are actually watching this show right now,
Yes, sir.
and you just explained to them the things about intelligent medicine, tell them at this point why should they invest their time in learning more about intelligent medicine and trusting you with this platform that you're creating and growing as to why it's going to work for them. Tell them about this and why they should trust it.
So my hope is that intelligent medicine becomes a trusted resource that helps demo, de- democratize knowledge. So if that means empowers people to feel informed, it sparks the thoughtful debates with people so they can. That's another good thing I like about with the AI is having debates with people about certain topics, so they can brings up more topics that they can discuss with peers and promotes responsible use of AI adoption, then I feel like then intelligent medicine is doing a good job for them, and those individuals who's looking for that should definitely go on and look and maybe subscribe to the newsletter as well.
So let's transition over to your work in medical project coordination. What does your role as a project coordinator in medical systems entail?
So right now it entails AI integration or research. And so it's two things. So AI integration into websites. So I help create websites for um, either doctors or small clinic practices that want to put AI into their practice. So either that be a chat bot on their website, that maybe a contact form that a patient fills out and then it sends it to the front office assistant, all the information they need organized in a way to where they can type it in easily, or it automatically generates a EHR or a EHR or profile for that patient. Um, I help out with the research side. I do with Emory University. I'm working with digital twins in the pharmaceutical industry. So with that, basically is a computer that's made a copy of a drug or your body to help scientists test and approve things virtually before doing them in real life. So nowadays, if there's a drug, it has to go through so many steps to go to a human trial. It's just a long time. So potentially, so usually with the way it goes animal testing, then it goes into human testing before it goes into the market. So if you have computer made copy of your body, of the patient's body, you're able to test that drug right then and there and not have to go through so many trial steps. Or let's say a person could be allergic to, let's say, 30 milligrams of Percocet versus they can take five, their body can handle five. But the doctor doesn't know that for real. They just give them based off other experiences. But this goes off of your DNA, your body, everything that pertains to you. Is nothing, no other people, no other people will affect you. It's not going off what the last person they saw, had, or is going off what your body needs or is tailored to your body.
So it sounds like what you're saying is this is more customized approach, meaning that as they're able to scan your body, everything is based on what they have as to that data and the analytics that they're looking at when it comes to your body and what they need to give you. So basically, it's not because it says that, let's say somebody that weigh 175 pounds and they give them 3 milligrams of Percocet because that fits that description. That means that this is delved down deep into the details
Yeah.
that can go all the way to the point where we making sure that we know that this is the dose that's perfect for you.
Yes, to the exact milligram. This is perfect. You shouldn't take this, or you should actually take this instead of this. So the that's the ways that the digital twins or digital twin project can help you, and that goes into along with the category of personalized medicine, which will be relatively a big thing in about 10-15 years, which basically the doctor will know exactly precisely how to take care of you and how to treat you. You would know if you kept, let's just say, example, you was eating chips every day,
Mhm.
and um, you did a DNA test and gave them your DNA to do the personalized medicine. Doctor says, "Oh, if you got to stop eating these chips because in the next 2 years you could potentially have diabetes or pre-diabetes before you get diabetes." And this is the data that shows it. And you need to switch this around. We're going to make a new diet for your nutrition so you want can avoid that, and that's like another big thing is preventative medicine. A lot of people, if you have not saying a lot of people, just for example, cancer, if you find out you have cancer early enough, you could there's a higher chance of you getting rid of it versus you finding out like months before you know going through stage 4 cancer. So that's 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 a way people can use personalized like, so if someone had like I said, cancer, they can know, okay, I have cancer now, I need to do this to get rid of it. Or even it can go deeper to where, oh, if I don't change my habits or how I live my lifestyle, I'll have cancer in the next certain amount of years, and this is how I can change my lifestyle to not have it or not go through this.
So, how do you manage cross-functional teams in high-pressured environments?
It's tough because you never know what's going on with another person, and my thing is, I feel like if you start to show like stress to other people, then they will start to get stressed out. Like it's kind of like they feel the same energy as you, so they're going off your energy. And if they're looking up to you as a leader and you're showing it's okay to be nervous, but if you're showing that you're nervous and you're stressed out and you're not communicating well with people, then it's definitely stuff is not going to get done, and people are not going to want to do the stuff that's needed to get done.
What's one project you're most proud of coordinating?
So right now is the when I worked for Emory, it was very cool. I'm still working on the website, like maintaining it and stuff. But when I first did it, it was nice to work with a group of individuals that are, one, very smart, and two, is very diverse. It was a lot of different people from different cultures and different backgrounds. So seeing us be able to come together to put out a website within 6 weeks is very impressive, and um I really want to give them a shout out too as well, that they did a very good job and with communicating, with having everything that need to be done by the deadline done. There were certain parts where we had trouble like making the interactive map, and we had to keep trying to figure out um how to code basically a side by side view, or code to where you click on a state and it pops up a description of what's going on in that state with AI governance. Like that's how many standards to have, how many hospitals in a state. Is this a good state for AI laws? Those certain type of things. Also with the NLP, it was basically and data collection is sourcing using web scraping to source. We sourced over 12,000 PDFs. Then out of those 12,000 PDFs, we had to create more Python scripts to filter out irrelevant. So one thing during the web scraping is when we used AI. AI can mean a lot of things, like American Indian. It can mean artificial insemination. It can mean Air India. It can mean a lot of different things. So we had to create Python scripts to essentially filter out the irrelevant AI words, or words abbreviations out of those that are in those PDFs. So let's say the PDF said AI in cows, but really is meaning artificial insemination in cows. So the PDF's about that. So the Python script will go through the whole PDF, like look through it, and if it found the word artificial insemination, It was to remove the PDF out the group.
Mm.
So we made this whole so in the future, what this will allow us to do is when we do another web scrape and we get new documents, it would like we could put it through these Python scripts and knock out the workload for a manual review.
Mhm.
If that makes sense. Because then we'll like out of the 12,000, we're now down to about 700 documents that we found. So it gets more narrowed down as you go through, and then we can look through the 700 manually at the end of the process to make sure it's correct.
So, how do you balance administrative oversight with clinical priorities?
So the way I look at it is how is the patient going to benefit, or is it going to affect the patient care? So if administrative duties outweigh the clinical duties at a certain time, like if someone needed. So okay, if it w- I can work in two areas. So if if I had time and someone wanted the AI chatbot on a website for the clinical practice,
Mhm.
I could. But what if someone else also wanted me to test this medical device? I would prioritize which one would need more focus on, which would be the medical device because it's actually going into someone's body, and you don't want to be responsible for anything. So to give good data on that, or if I have more of administrative work, say if I had to do a review, data review, I would do the I would focus what's more going to benefit the patient, which is testing the medical product and making sure it's being able to be used for the patient individual, whoever's it going out to.
Mhm. So, what innovations have helped you have you helped implement in hospital systems?
So so far, just chatbots on people's websites. So that's well in my business, but for like as in contract work, I have made websites and developed software programs that essentially help the doctor not have so many administrative tasks. If that's taking notes, or if that's getting emails from patients and they're not able to see them all and to be able to summarize the email for them to where they can come out with a personalized plan for them, or something that even makes a personalized plan for the patient and they can review it. Just something to take the burnout of the doctor, which is a lot of its administrative work.
Mhm. So, how do you approach improving documentation and compliance?
So the big thing with that is being HIPAA compliant or staying. So a lot of electronically. So basically, you got to have a key focus area on cybersecurity,
Mhm.
because that will be. I'll say that's the downfall. That's the downfall of like a lot of like systems in America in general is outdated technology, which can lead to stuff being hacked, malware on it, ransomware. So if you're able to have good cybersecurity within implementing these things, then you should be in the um green zone clear.
Okay, what's your strategy for navigating healthcare bureaucracy?
So my strategy is to, I would say, educate as much people and advocate for as much thing. There's a couple of things I advocated for this year, which is the Match It Act and the Patient ID Act. and those bills will essentially help patients um have their patient data secure, if
Mhm.
that makes sense.
Yeah. So, how do you measure success in your coordination efforts?
So I would say the way I measure my success and like like the way I coordinate things is how much stuff I get done. I guess my productivity. If I'm getting a lot of things done, then I would say I would feel like, good. It's successful, good. But if stuff's not getting done, I feel like, oh, this area is lacking this. I need to focus on this and get this done so it can be 100% completed. Um, One of my favorite books, I forgot the author, but it's the Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, and that's the number one habit, which is productivity. So that's what I try to do, being productive
So,
as possible.
are you measuring this in a qualitative and quantitative measure, or is it just one of those over the other?
One of those over the other. If it's let's just say I have a lot to do, and maybe you have to put some like stuff I want to do aside, then I would pr- put those into account and just not, I would say, like, disregard my needs, but just make sure the work gets done, because what I've what I'm doing, I realize, is not just affecting like an average person, is affecting like a patient or people who want to learn about AI. So I don't want to be like, the if something's not done or something's not and it's my fault, then that's my, reputation. So I don't want my reputation to be bad in that aspect.
What advice would you give to aspiring healthcare project managers?
Um, One key advice I would definitely give, if the job market is crazy right now, and you, instead of, like, a lot of people say, "Oh, I can't find entry level work," I would say find stuff that you can do projects on that doesn't require you working. It could be volunteering at your church, or making your own projects at home. That counts. So everything counts. So if you if you want to do something, let's put your mind towards it. So if let's say if you do want to get in AI in healthcare, I would start by going on YouTube and learning different stuff like neural networks and machine learning in healthcare, what's supervised learning, what's not, versus unsupervised learning. Just these different type of topics, especially if you want to like start somewhere, I definitely would say YouTube, because maybe you do want to start, but you don't want to pay some money for a course. YouTube will get you there good enough to where, if you actually like what you're learning, you can be like, okay, now I want to take this further and I'm going to pay for the course and get a certification in this. Or you can learn, say you don't have enough money for a tutor. You can potentially even use a chat bot to say, can you find me YouTube videos that will help me learn more about um, machine learning, and please find videos that include projects that I could do.
Mhm,
And you essentially, will learn and be able to do projects with that for free.
mhm. So, how do you stay grounded while managing complex medical operations?
Um, a lot of coffee, honestly. But I would say one way that I stay is just scheduling. Be able to have a good schedule. If you having your stuff like on, I find it, if I actually focus and put this stuff on a schedule and have it on a calendar, I'm able to know, okay, I have this meeting he then, and I can tell this person, oh, I have a meeting today, but I can see you this later on, or I can make time for myself. I know what's going on versus I really don't know what's going on. In a day it happens, someone's like, oh, you have this that's supposed to happen, and this is going to happen in 2 weeks and stuff like that. And now I'm kind of behind, and everyone is not every well, some people, yeah, if you want, like, if you have a business and you just say you had a deadline of 2 weeks from now, and you tell someone like 2 days before you need help, like, what's the chances of them being able to help you versus you told them 2 weeks ago? So if you're able to like schedule in good time management, I feel like you can handle those high stress environments.
Mm. Let's transition over to your laboratory research and scientific inquiries.
Okay.
What drew you to laboratory research initially?
So when I was younger, I used to like these tests with genetics with these with quail to see how long it would take for me to breed in a gene that basically essentially makes an egg blue. And that was kind of like my introduction into gene genetics. And then I found out about biotechnology, which is the manipulation of organisms to benefit mankind. So I I did that during my undergrad, and while working in the lab and doing projects there, I found myself working at other labs, which was I worked for a biofertilizer company, which they essentially made living fertilizer that goes along with other like organic or non-organic fertilizers. But this fertilizer kind of helps the microbiology in the soil, so your crops will grow faster and healthier at a better rate than just fertilizing it, just the plain fertilizer. That was an interesting process on how it was made and everything, but that was pretty cool. Another place I worked for was a chicken company. They're like number one or two chicken producer in the world. It's called Avagen, and I worked in the laboratory for them, and it was cool to see like the different bacteria and how to find the different bacteria in certain objects, because they will come, basically we were the lab, so people will go out and swab the chicken houses every day, or either chicken houses or whatever that was around the chickens, for salmonella, to test to see if they had salmonella, E. coli. And there's something I forgot. I believe the word is AI, but it's not artificial intelligence. It's a bird like flu, something like that.
Avion.
Yeah, avian. There you go. So we would test those samples that people brought in and see, okay, does this sample have salmonella? Well, funny fact, basically, when you buy chicken from the store, it can have salmonella on it. So you can, but it just can't have a certain type of salmonella. That's why you have to cook the chicken to 165 every time. But if it has like one of three types of salmonella on it, you can't sell it, or you can't even like breed that stock anymore. You have to like depopulate everything.
Mhm.
So um then so that was like my last. Well, I work in a lab now, but it's not like mixing certain stuff together to come up with a media plate and streaking bacteria on the plate. That was pretty cool, but now it's more of research on how these medical devices will affect the patient, or what how long it would take it for it to break and stuff like that. um my biggest project I worked on during my lab research time was I had to drive around to 16 different counties in Alabama and go
Hmm.
to different soil testing facilities. Not soil testing facility, but farms. These certain farms, these USDA farms that people had contracts with to grow corn, soybean, and cotton. So I would test the. I would have to go there with like a. It's the tool is called an agar, which basically gets the soil up out the ground, and I would go there in the middle of nowhere and
Hmm.
collect the soil and then take it back to the lab, put it into. You would have to weigh literally. This is like it's the memory is still. You have to weigh like 5 milligrams of soil into 150 test tubes, and then we have to extract the DNA from each of those test tubes, and then we'll put it into a PCR machine to see if there was any Rhymney nematode in that soil sample. And if there was, it's good. If there wasn't, then we're just trying to locate the Rhymney nematode. That's what the project was.
Let me ask you this, because what's interesting about that is when they're manipulating the soil the way they do, are they allowed to do that up to a certain extent, or do they just try to do the manipulation without getting caught?
So it's not. I guess you could say it's more of enhancing it. Is because some soil is horrible. Like it doesn't have any micro organisms and no activity, microorganism activity in the soil.
Mhm.
So that's one thing. I mean, that's another platform I built too. Was like it's called Plant Pal, and it's something. It's like a chatbot to help people with gardening because a lot of people really don't know like, oh, I have to water a plant every day and it's summertime, or oh, I have to do this to a plant. So a lot of people that's really become like a new thing, like the microbes in the soil
Mhm.
and how or finding beneficial microbes in your soil.
Mhm.
So basically it's I wouldn't say it's a bad thing or like something that needs to be maybe regulated in the sense if you're introducing bad microbes to the soil.
Well,
But
see, that's what I'm saying, because
yeah,
that's what a lot of those on a lot of those farms. That's what they do, especially when they want the growth to accelerate.
oh yeah,
Now, I know that when it comes to now, I'm not really good with this, but I mean, I just understand this. Like I was born and raised in Alabama,
mm,
and I can say factually that I know the soil between Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee is so much better than the soil that's here in Georgia and Florida.
yeah, yeah,
And so, the manipulation that they're doing, depending upon the actual industry, especially if it's like with a lot of the vegetables and so forth, you which is why I always, I kind of like throw out a little bit of a little bit of knowledge that I know about this, is that if I'm getting vegetables from a place like in maybe in Alabama, Mississippi, or Tennessee,
yeah.
I would be much more happier with that vegetable or that plant than I would be here in Georgia and Florida, because they're doing things to try to extra manipulate these vegetables because they want to accelerate what the farmers can do in
Okay, I
order
see.
to bring about more
So,
product. And
so,
that's not good, because that's all about quantity and not quality.
so that so that goes more along with like gene enhancement and like using auxins and gibberellins, something like that. But
Mhm.
essentially, the or growth or GPRs, uh growth promoter regulators, something it's like those type of things. If you're those are like okay, so not off topic, but the same topic. So you could there's something called tissue culture now, right? and that's adding like, okay, that's growing, basically essentially growing a plant in a test tube, like a little piece of a plant. So like a leaf, like if you go outside and cut like a little tiny leaf, you can grow like 20 plants from that.
Gene
But
splicing.
um no, it's more of you're putting the plant, the piece of tissue on the media. So that's like on a petri dish, if that makes sense. So you put it in the media, and the media consists of either, if you want like roots to come, a lot of roots, you'll put more auxin than cyanokinesen.
Okay.
But if you want more growth, then you'll put more growth regulators and auxin, if you make sense. So you put more of the um chemical into the plant to make it grow faster. Like, so the microbes in the soil, what that does is helps the soil health, if that makes sense. Like makes the soil better.
Yes.
The growth promoters and all that, that's going into like, you're going into the gene and changing it around, making a plant grow faster than what it's supposed to, those type of things. That, now that's when it gets into harmful and stuff like that. That's more of the lines of what you're talking about. But the biofertilizer, I would say it's a very useful innovation for people to use, because some people may, let's say you move to a house and the backyard looks nice, but the soil health is awful, and they wouldn't really know that unless they got like a soil test and could see, basically they could add microbes to their soil to help get rid of the bad microbes that's there, or replace microbes that's missing that they need, that may have died. There's something that's in their soil. So um that, and then like you said too, with the regulations, like some of these food companies, like I know there was an instance with Taylor Farms, if you ever remember, like why there was E. coli in the salad. It was basically because a cow farm was uphill from the Taylor farms where they were growing the lettuce and stuff. And yeah, all the uh stuff that the cow excretes comes out, and when it rains and it washes into the lettuce field. So the roots from the lettuce intake the E. coli, and that's how it's started. I mean, they have there's a debate about this too. Now they have trackers essentially in salads, that if there is an E. coli outbreak, they'll be able to know which farm that piece of lettuce came from. That
Yeah.
makes sense. So
Yeah.
so they can clean out the whole thing and do better regulation on it. But my sense, they definitely need to make laws, that more laws around GMOs and stuff like that, because this it's a big business around that too. If any of you guys have time to research Monsanto or Bayer and stuff like that, you'll see like, okay, even when I it's crazy, like even if you want to go and start a garden at home, you're more likely to have a GMO plant, because like a lot of stuff is GMO now, and it's
Yes.
hard, and it's like hard to replace. Even if it's grown organic, it still can be a GMO. It was just grown organically. You know what I mean? So there's like a lot of different like loopholes, little side like stuff that people do, but essentially, if you have time, it's a good like rabbit hole to dive down to.
Can you describe your work at Grazingland Animal Nutrition Lab?
Animal Nutrition Lab. I don't think I worked for an animal nutrition. You say Grazeland?
Yeah, Grazingland.
Grazeland.
Well, wrong research.
Yeah,
Wrong.
wrong.
Trying, trying
Probably
to
wrong.
trying to get a good question here, but okay. What was your research focus regarding carbon sequestration?
Um, I don't think that's me either. I I took a class about like carbon in plants, but not. I never did like a whole study.
Okay. Well, let's move over to the my we talked about Black history, and I asked you who was the most influential person or persons in your life or career, and you told me that that person was Barack Obama.
Yes,
Can
sir.
you tell me why is Black history important to you personally and professionally?
Well, I feel like what I'm doing now, especially like in these new realms, yes, there's black people in them, but I don't really see like when I go to these conferences and stuff, I don't see a lot of black people. So it's kind of good, or I say the majority I see a lot of is like black females, but I never see a lot of black males. If there is black people there,
Mhm.
not saying that there's like none or, but so the way I see it, if I'm in these new fields, I'm kind of creating a a path for other people to follow. So I try to be as transparent and open on how I'm doing certain things and how I and how important it is to have a positive role model to look up to that will help you like go forward, because maybe sometimes you may be, especially when you get older in life, you may be going through something and you need advice from outside person looking in. You don't need the person in your head telling you, oh yeah, you're doing all right, you're doing all right. You may need someone else to tell you, oh, you maybe you should do this instead, or something like that, and you could take that into account and choose to go how did you go with your life as you will. But I feel like in the black community especially, there's not a lot of, there are leaders, but there are not a lot of like influential leaders nowadays that are doing a lot of things with like tech and stuff like that. So if I could bridge that gap, then I feel like I'm doing a good thing.
Well, you know something? I'm gonna tell you. I think I'm actually getting ready to actually do a big post and article on those top 10 black professionals that are in tech. You know, you
Oh,
make a very valid point. You make a very valid point because when it comes to the tech area, that is an area, and I'm saying this hands up, is you're right about one thing. That is an area that's so hard for people that look like you and I to get into,
yeah,
and there's a preventive thing that's actually trying to make it that much harder. But those people that I'm actually getting ready to write about,
mhm.
I mean, they are known.
Oh,
But the thing is that with them, as large as they are, is as wide as they are, there's still people. A lot of people just don't know that they even exist.
yeah, exactly. It's kind of like if you don't know, if you're like not Bill Gates or Elon Musk or something like that, then it's like it's like you're not really known in the tech field. But there is a lot of black creators of certain things that you would be like, oh, I mean, I didn't know a black guy created, but he did, and it's not as Bill Gates and stuff like that. So, but the thing I look at with them is they were when they were coming up, they were in those new fields like Bill Gates. There was no there was no laptop when he like was a little like young, but he was, I would say he was put in a position to where he was young, one of the first youngest people to deal with a computer. So he was able to innovate when he was young. So I like commend all my fellow like African American like peers and all to don't be scared to do something new, because you definitely will be like it's a forefront of something, so you'll excel in it and just try to educate yourself as much as you can about something and apply it to how you can monetize it or something like that.
Well, I'll just tell you this: as you do some more work and some learned knowledge on Bill Gates, I think you'd find it to be appalling
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
know to know to know how Microsoft came to be.
Oh yeah. 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 It's definitely like, shady. It's shady everywhere. But that's why I want to like tell people to don't you take what someone else did, but you can make it better, and you could like essentially right there like, okay, so what Bill Gates is like, right, so what Bill Gates is the like known guy from Microsoft, whatever. There's nothing stopping you from making your own company and going like trying to push it to being his competition, or
Yeah.
him coming up to you saying, oh, I want to buy your company, or something like that. So, and that's done a lot. That's really what's done in that space. The tech field is bigger companies buying all these smaller companies that you don't never even heard of, and they integrate it into their company. And
Yes.
so like that's a like well, it's not like this, but I met a guy when I was I'm part of the National Leadership Honorship Society, and I met the guy who, the Waymo cars in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, he's the CEO of that or that field in Google, or that department in Google. So he and it's a black guy, and
Mm-hmm.
you would never, not like the average person would never like, oh, CEO at Google or something. You think he's not black or whatever, but he's there and he's doing well, and he has a book that's out that helps people to start businesses with AI. So,
Mm.
and he's created a whole bunch of other tech startups that you would never, you'd be like, what, you did that? That's cool. Like.
Well, here's a, comment here. I'm not sure what it means, but it's from Brandy Hill. Let me put it on the screen. Do you know what that means?
It looks like got his glasses, guy with glasses, lucky is in his science.
Okay, that's from Brandy Hill.
Thank you, Brandy Hill.
So, can you tell us how has your identity shaped your approach to medicine and research as a black man?
Definitely, I have more aware like now, not like more. I'm more aware based off the knowledge I've gained, because I'll say before I would be like, before I learned like about the Tuskegee syphilis study and all that, I used to be like, it's a doctor. Why would he lie to you? Like, but at the end of the day, it's a human, and some humans are in it for not for patient care, but greed. So if they can get the most money they can out of something, or if they can treat you, if they can give you a long treatment versus curing something, then definitely like they're gonna choose to keep treating you, and
Right.
or choosing what benefits them so that you can keep coming to them and staying with them. So just being more aware is definitely like that's what changed, like me being more aware of medical malpractices and mistrusting the in black communities with healthcare in the US.
So, what does representation in science and medicine mean to you?
It means to basically it means to innovate, like make something new, like all the great scientists, well, some shady, but all the great ones, they invented something new. That's how they changed something. So I feel like science and technology is the way that you change a society, or a society changes based off that, especially technology now.
Okay. Why is Barack Obama the most influential figure in your life?
Um, I like him because he's one. When he was running for election, a lot of people, would say certain stuff about him, or say he wasn't even American and stuff like that, and that wasn't true. But that didn't stop him from keep going and keep pushing, and he didn't quit the election. He went through and prospered and was elected twice. So that's what I like about him. He did never give up in the fight, and that's what I try to apply in my life, just to keep moving forward and never let something, someone say, "Oh, AI can help hurt, you or hurt certain people," and I'm like, well, if 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 no one of the people that if my community doesn't get involved into it, then we're just gonna be behind or
Exactly.
something, so someone has to get involved in it. I would recommend you get involved in it too, but don't
Mhm.
let don't let certain like topics or the news like just scare you and totally away from AI. That's you got to learn something about it, or you're just going to be left out.
How did Obama's presidency impact your career trajectory?
So I would say it gave me it gave me it was it allowed me to look at like like him and his situation and say, oh, a black man, like it does mean, yes, there, stuff that, you got to be aware of being a black man, but him being the president put in my mind, oh, a black man could do anything, and that's what I'm going to do, be able to do anything. So if he can become president, I can become whatever I want to do, you know?
Mhm.
So,
What lessons from Obama's leadership do you apply in your work?
so a lot of just the way he communicates to individuals. I feel like he has very good communication skills, and that's what gets him to go a long way. And that's how I feel like that gets you a long way in life with anything communication.
Mhm. What lessons from Obama's? Oh, well, no. Can you share a moment when Obama's legacy inspired a decision you made?
Yes. So I remember there was an instance where in the news and everyone was talking about Obama and how he wore a tan suit and how it wasn't like, it wasn't the right norms,
Presidential.
yeah, presidential, or it wasn't clad or whatever, but he didn't care. He still wore you know, he set a new trend, like a new thing in politics to say like you don't have to be like, wearing the black or navy blue suit every day. You can be different. So that's what I truly took from that. And people you could be doing something good, but people are going to take any little thing and try to make it bad
Mhm.
that you do, especially like haters and stuff like that. So basically what I learned from that situation is don't let the haters influence what you do.
So, how do you mentor young Black professionals in STEM and healthcare?
One way I do is I try to talk to them about what they want to do in their life, and how what ways they can do to you know build themselves up to meet that goal. I have a little cousin that I mentor a lot. The other day he asked me like, what should I wear for a headshot, for a photo for my LinkedIn. So I told him all the appropriate thing, like, make sure you wear a collared shirt, because I, as a black male, it's sad to say, but when you go into like corporate and stuff like that, they're already judging you just based off stereotypes. And it could be vice versa, you can be judging them based off stereotypes. This is how the world works. And so, but what you can do is you can eliminate that by going against the stereotypes. So when you get there, it's like oh, like like, oh, this guy, he's cool. Like he's not like, I thought black people were like this, but they're not like this. Like that's just that was stupid of me to think that. So
Well, but
this
you know something. I mean, when you say that, now let me just say this, because I think a lot of times, people other than people that look like you or not, they overplay that. And when I say
yeah,
they overplay that, it's because it's always felt like you have to come up to the standard to look like others rather than be you.
right,
And so my thing is this. It's like, in knowing who you are, and if you're going into that environment, then yes, you are going to have to be adaptable and flexible enough to fit into that environment, because you have to understand what's there in that culture.
right,
So
right,
now, when setting a standard for our own culture, a lot of times, you want to always be professional, right?
right.
But you don't have to always run around with the stuffy suit and tie.
Yeah.
Like the shirts that I'm wearing, like this shirt right here. I always say, like, especially when it comes to doing this show, especially, we are definitely professional, but you do not have to come on here with a shirt and tie.
Yeah.
But you do have to have a collared shirt. We don't do t-shirts. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's still the professional casual. What makes you think, can you tell me, why do you think that for what another culture has set as a standard, that people feel like that's supposed to be the standard of the world? Why do you think that's the case?
Because I would say, because if a certain group, like, has a lot of power and control over one area, and you're trying to get in that area, in that space, so you can, like my mom says, like I had braids before, but I'm most likely probably not gonna get braids again. This is when I was younger, but um she'd be like, you can cut them, but but the you can cut them, but the trajectory, like, once you get the job, you will have success, like, if that makes sense. If you cut your hair now and you get the job, you can grow it when you get back, because then they'll know you. So it's it's because, like, people, they have that control to tell you, you could be the smartest guy in the room, but if you, I guess, look a certain way to them, then they can, like, prevent you from having your dreams go on.
Let me say this to you, because I definitely know where you're going with that, but I'm going to tell you this. I think when we, as Black people, especially Black men, when we start going through that code switching phase, that becomes a permanent thing that gets stuck in here, which means you lose yourself.
Mm,
Because when you lose yourself, then you're always on a different trajectory that's way on the outside, that's way out the norm, that's not even close to where the people are that you're familiarized with. Because once you start doing that, your whole life turns into a lie, because everything gets to being about switching that code. And once you start doing that, you'll never come back, which is why we actually see that with a lot of people that look like you and I mainstream right now, is that identity, your camera's off, is in that identity, they've lost themselves.
right.
And so what I'm saying is, that depends upon the individual. And I know that once you're adapting to other cultures, especially, that's one of the things that people tell you that you have to do or you must do. But now, when you think about that, you need to think about that long term, because as you continue to switching codes like that and continue to have to adapt to this, that, and the other, that becomes a thing that's stuck in you that you are always begin to follow, and that's what your life becomes, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
not you but somebody else.
Yes, I took that very much in consideration, but I would say one thing that kind of sets me apart from a lot of the like a lot of individuals like that, because I definitely come across that, is one. I went like I go to several I went to Alabama A&M, and I go to Morehouse School of Medicine right now. And I say
Mm-hmm.
one of the benefits of me going, because I didn't go to a black high school or something like that. I went to a school. I went to a school in Alpharetta, so
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't like so when I went to A&M, it was like a total different environment. So I got to see, I would say, the other side of life, which I didn't understand before, but I totally understand now. But in that environment, I don't like say, okay, cool, I'm in this environment, but I'm very selective of who I talk to, that as I go there, or I hang out with after work, or I don't surround myself with the same people at the job than I do. Like, I keep it totally separate. Like, work is work. Like, when I go into work, I don't think about stuff that goes on in my personal life for real. I put my phone on do not disturb and just work. But if I go home, I don't think about work. I don't want to think about work. I think about what's going on at home and myself, and my activities, what I want to do when I get off and whatever, hang out with my friends. So, but I would say a lot of things that in the corporate world you would say, you'd be cool, like you can talk loud outside or outside the office, but in like the office you can't really, like, you can't just be talking at a certain level, or you can't be talking about anything. You can't talk about politics at work. You can talk about politics outside of work. You can't talk about it. Even though people at your job may feel it's not on the same line, it's still people out there to get you as a black guy. So you may say one thing, and then they go tell the boss, like, you offended them because you said this, something like that. So that's why I say, like, you definitely got to keep your work life and personal life separate.
What message do you have for the next generation of Black innovators?
Definitely to stay focused. Don't you know when you get to, I'll say, like, when you get to college, you might get focused on going out, partying, you got freedom from your parents and stuff like that. Just stay focused, because if you get off that path, and you get on another path, it's harder to get back on that path of studying and education, because life is life. Like, once you if you get to the world and start having kids and more responsibilities, the like school it will get you some money, but it's not going to get you money right here and right now, if that makes sense. That's for future. So if you're not focused on what you need to be focused on, then you're just essentially setting yourself up for failure.
Mm.
So you just need to do everything you can. Like, the younger you are, the better. And it doesn't matter if you're like 21, 19, 18. You can start a business whenever, and don't think you need a lot of all this stuff to start the business.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of times, a lot of businesses, you can start off with nothing and just good advertisement and branding. And once you get your first sale, then you can buy the materials you need for your business. So, don't be scared to start something. Just get out there and do it.
And final question for you. If you could speak directly to President Obama, what would you say?
I would, if I was to speak directly to Barack Obama, I would definitely ask him how it felt when he was the first time he was elected, when he was at doing the oath to take office, like how he felt like as a black man that all these odds are stacked against you, but you succeeded and you are right now about to make history taking over, America. And then two is how do you stay so even in crazy situations, how do you still remain so calm and speak so polished? If that makes sense.
Hmm. So, what are some words of wisdom and encouragement that you'd like to leave for our audience? How they can connect with you on your socials, your website, how they can get to the things that you're doing.
So I would definitely say like I said before, don't be scared of AI. I would learn as you don't have to go crazy in depth. Just watch some YouTube videos about how it can change, or read some articles about how it can help you in your life. A lot of things that people don't realize is basically like your own personal assistant. So you can have a free to $20 paid monthly virtual assistant that can do anything, pretty much a lot of stuff for you that you don't need to be doing, if that is like adding stuff to your calendar, um going through emails and summarizing them, or making a to-do list of what you need to do today. Those type of things that can all be done with AI, and that you can do that will help you better understand AI. So just taking those initiatives and learning just a little bit can go a long way. And ways people can connect with me, I have a LinkedIn. Is My name is Christopher McCoy. Um, and I also have a website, www.meetchrismccoy.com, where people can see like my portfolio, and they can read about what my new like new new things I'm getting into. That's either a new AI project or a new website I'm building. They can all view it on that website. And also you can check out intelligentmedicine.tech.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for spending this time with us, because just truly uh, was um, was more than just informative. This was a lot of knowledge that I think a lot of people needed to hear and learn, especially the innovative ideas and the new things that you have come up with.
Yes, sir.
Um, because those are some things that I know, especially those in underserved and marginalized communities, need to take interest in and need to learn a little bit more about. Also, there were some parts of what we were discussing that I definitely would love to track the progress of where you're going, because I definitely would love to have you back, as we're doing next season now as far as our bookings. But I definitely love to have you back to learn more as to where you are with your new phase and how things are progressing, because
Sorry.
this is really something else. And as a matter of fact, when we're done with the show, I need to chat with you for a few minutes after that, if that's okay.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. And I was gonna say thank you for having me and giving me the opportunity to come on your platform to talk about these issues, and how AI can help people in healthcare especially. I really appreciate you allowing me to voice my opinion.
Yes, sir. And for those of you that are watching the show today, throughout all of our 8 channels that we're streaming live on, I want to thank you for watching this show, but also I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to learn that there are an enormous amount of things that are available and at hand, especially for those of you that are in the marginalized and underserved communities, that you could take heed to, that you can learn about, and something that can also help to make your life that much better. When it comes to the medical profession and the work that Christopher is doing, I must say that this work is more important than most can imagine, especially at this point. So as it continues to develop and as it continues to grow, this is going to make your life that much easier and that much better, especially from the medical perspective, because that stigma is still there when it comes to underserved communities, especially those underserved Black communities, because there's reason to have pause, but there's also reason to have hope. This is one of those reasons to have hope. And I wish that you guys would please reach out to Christopher's website to learn more about what he's doing. Maybe you can ask him some questions via social media if you actually connect with him on his socials, because believe me, this kind of technology, which is where the world is going right now today, please catch it in the beginning phase, because as it gets older, it gets better, it gets that much more powerful. But if you're already in and you're already learning, it makes the learning that much easier for you. But for those that choose to wait and wait and wait, it's never too late, but you're behind the learning curve. So let's get with it while it's actually starting right now. For those of you that are watching on all the channels, especially the YouTube channels, if you have not subscribed, I ask that you please support us by subscribing and getting all the notifications to all of our YouTube channels, because we broadcast this show live on all of our YouTube channels as well as other places. You all please continue to have yourself a great weekend. Have a great day. And please, as we start a new week, starting tomorrow, we have a great slew of shows for you guys next week on America in Black and White, where we will continue to color conversations on the canvas of America. I want to thank you, Chris, and I thank everybody for watching. We will see you guys tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.